Hi there, and welcome to another edition of the Torino Diaries FM 17. Yes, we are 24 matches in, nearly more than halfway through the first season, and we are currently 5 points behind Juventus. We've had a pretty um, horrific end of the year, so we haven't really done so well. And we drew against Palermo, Udinese, Lazio. Genoa, I tried something different. I actually created a tactic, which is was discussion with someone. One of the guys I was coaching, and then we looked at this 4-3-3 for teams that have are not very good because I was thinking of going 4-3-3 and attacking teams that are better than me, have some options down the flanks, and it's played with the minimal shouts. I don't use any of these shouts. Play out of defense or work ball. I don't, none of them. The idea here is to get the goalkeeper to distribute over the opposition so that the ball goes all the way over the opposition defense and lands here. So his passing is actually going to be long. The other option, of course, is to go route one, but I'm not going to go route one just yet. I just basically just play it this way and have my wing back make himself available as a passing outlet to these final third players. So essentially, what I'm going to be looking at during transitions is make sure that Danilo Avila is somewhere around here, and that we get these boys down deep enough to lend support, so that we actually have some protection down the flanks, down the middle as well. Yeah, so that's basically it. Up front, I've managed to get this guy Federico Dionisi. He's okay. He's all right, but he'll play with Belotti and Picciarelli up front. In the middle of the park, I've got to turn to Rafael Bianco. He's also another guy who's just been brought in. Unfortunately for us, we've got a few injuries to Valdifiori, which necessitated me changing systems as well. And Mirko Valdifiori is out, and so is Lorenzo Silvestri, who's suspended for this match. A shout out to Calvin. You asked whether there's a specific way I'd go to play against top teams home and away. He uses a flat 4-4-2, and he wants to know whether that formation is already a problem or the roles he's selecting. Away from home, is control attacking a complete no-no because you're probably control attacking also. What about at home? So he's Napoli, I'm Torino. Okay, so your side is actually better than mine. Yeah, and this is the thing about the way I approach games. Do I change drastically what I'm doing? Well, it all depends on two things. One, the kind of players that I have versus the rest of the opposition. Okay, if my players are like really good, chances are I won't change much. I'll just change mentality and shape. My tactic should be good enough because whenever you create a tactic, you're thinking on the long haul. I mean, how do you control space? If your tactic can win, then it should be also logically be able to defend because you're gonna have to control space in order for you to win. Whether you play a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 or 4-1-4-1 or 4-3-3 doesn't matter as long as it's structurally solid a system. The only time you change it is when something drastic happens to your tactic. Do you have a key player that you have in your system that the tactic revolves around? And if that happens, then you got to start thinking, what can I do now to compensate that? Because once you lose a key player in a specific position, sometimes things go wrong. In our system, we were playing a 4-3-3. Valdifiori got injured. The moment Valdifiori got injured, I had to change because I need Valdifiori because he's such a great passer of the ball from deep. But in the absence of Valdifiori, I had to change and start looking at passing options further up. Either I avoid using my midfield as pass guys who can unlock defenses and just pump the ball into the final third, go all long ball, or I play the same way and then hope to God that we win. That's not ideal. So what I'm going to do in this show is I'm going to show the thing that I do in my tactics is very simple. I make a balanced tactic that controls space. That's the most important thing. Roles and duties are really important. So if you have a 4-4-2, you think along the same lines. How do you control the flanks? A 4-4-2 is probably one of the best tactics to use home and away. The same structure will get you wins. The key thing is, how does your screen work? How does your midfield screen work? How do you gonna get goals up front? How do you move the ball from the back line to the front line? So let's take a look at the 4-4-2 tactic. The 4-4-2 I've picked is from the 4-4-2 here, set to formation 4-4-2. I've changed only a few of the roles and duties to illustrate my point. Now, the first thing you want to do whenever you think of a system, home and away, how do I play home and away matches? Okay, it's very simple. I don't change very much. The only time I change my tactic is when I have an injury to a key player and I'm forced not to use that system. So in our case, I have like a 4-3-1-2, and I have like a system that revolves around Valde Fiori because he's injured. Now I cannot use my midfield as a creative outlet anymore. I have to push it forward. So I'm thinking of other systems to use. So that has forced me out of my comfort zone. So forcing me to use another tactic. So whenever you have any kind of a system, you're asking yourself a question, what do I do? This is what I do. I don't change my tactic. I change my team instructions. I may change a few of the roles and duties, but I don't change the overall tactic itself. Meaning if I'm playing a 4-4-2, I'll stick to a 4-4-2. I may change certain roles and duties, or I may change their mentality and shape. Other than that, nothing. So how is it possible for you to do something? What do I do then in a game? In a game, the first thing I want to do is, before I think about changing my changing everything, I think of a overall match strategy first. In this particular case, I want to play. If I wanted to play this 4-4-2, I would start thinking along the lines of all right. The first thing I do is I go through my team and identify every single person who can play as a support duty. This is the most important thing I will ever do. I need to discover which of my players can be relied on for transitions. And if they are going to be involved in the defensive transitions, then I may have to make sure that their roles encourage that. Furthermore, they have the right attributes. So for example, if I were to choose this guy as a winger on support and this guy is a wide midfielder on attack, what is the difference between those two roles? You need to know what the differences are between these two roles. And to do that, the best thing to do is to go and look at their play instructions. Okay, this wide midfielder on attack, he just gets further forward. There's nothing too adventurous about him, but he does get involved in some defensive, some attacking duties. This winger on support, what does he do? He dribbles more, he runs wide with ball, cross more often, and stay wider. So he's got a lot more PIs in here. So even if he's on support, he will dribble the more, which is a risky thing to do. He runs wide with ball, even on support. He's going to be further away from every other player. He's going to cross more often by role, and he'll stay wider. So here we have a player who I have to think to myself, can I rely on this guy to be to work and support my players? The only thing that a support duty now will do is to put him actually closer to the other players so that he becomes an outlet for the pass. So when I'm creating every tactic, I'm thinking firstly, what are the support roles and duties that are going to be on the pitch? Because I need these support roles and duties to play a key role in transitions. So this is what you need to do first. In your 4-4-2, you need to identify who are the support players who are going to be needed to defend when they come back. And so for each one of these players, you need to go through their attributes as well. So in the case of Falk, he's playing he's playing on the flanks. So I'm going to ask myself a question. Okay, can this guy come back and tackle? Can I depend on him to tackle? Can I depend on him to mark? Does he have the attributes necessary to play in that role where I can rely on him to be in a defensive third transition? If you're looking at his attributes, you'll immediately notice certain things. Marking is 6. His tackling is 7. His bravery is 9. His aggression is 9. So, and his strength is 7. Okay, so he can't. His positioning is 9. All right, his attributes are all telling me 6. Okay, that's it. This guy cannot be relied on to be part of the job scope that's needed on the left flank to defend. So even if you put him on support duty, he's not going to be, he's not going to be good enough. So OB is probably going to be pulled out of position more often than not, and Molinaro will end up having to defend a lot. So look at the role and the attack duty. So now I know that Falk, there's no point asking him to play support. He'll drop back, he may be a body, but he's going to be passed around. So might as well just go. I'll just put him on attack, since that's going to be the case in most for most of the game. So we have him on attack. Now he's on attack. Now I'm thinking about balance in my system. So the next thing I think about is balance. Now this guy's on attack, so he's going to bomb forward. There's a big gaping hole over here. Who's going to support him now when he's attacking? He's going to be on his own. He's going to dribble more. He's going to do all that, all that stuff. So what happens if he can't pass the ball? He's got no one to pass the ball to. He's going to lose the ball. So what you can do in this particular case is to turn this guy into a deep lying forward and support. maybe change this guy to an attacking forward. And what you have got created now is Falk is going to bomb forward. Okay, he's going to have Belotti dropping down to as a passing outlet, and probably to some extent Baselli, but Baselli is more or less is going to be in this role. So now Falk has got support in the attacking transition. So when he's attacking, he's going to have these guys supporting him. He's going to have Falk and Belotti. So Falk is going to have Belotti, sorry. That's what you got to think. So whenever you thinking about your tactic, whether home or away, you're going to have to think of, okay, when you move the ball between transitions, who are the players that are going to be involved? So in this particular case, I got Molinaro, Wallace, and Obi in defensive transitions. So the ball is going to go from Molinaro, maybe Wallace to Molinaro. If Molinaro can't find Obi, he's going to just point the ball up, aimlessly. So the question now is, does Molinaro have good passing? Does he have good head on his shoulders? Can he play under pressure? Should this role be a playmaker, or should this role be a defender? I'd rather keep this guy as a hard-winning tackler, because I need somebody who doesn't have to think about doing this great passing from the back, because if he's going to be doing a lot of playmaking roles, probably he's going to come under a lot of pressure. So this is the things that you end up doing. So if I were to use this guy, Baselli, again, can this guy be on support or can he be on attack? It really depends on what you want to do. Now, if this guy is really, really good, then he probably can go on attack, or he can play on support, and this guy can be put on support or an attack. Now, what's going to happen in this particular situation is that you need to start thinking about how your players are going to be working as units, not individually. When you're talking about units, you're going to be thinking about several things. You're basically going to focus on transitions. That's the most important thing. You're also going to be looking at screens. Here, when I was talking about Falk is not a good screen for Molinaro. When I refer to screens, that's what I'm talking about. If I'm playing a three-man in midfield, then the three players in midfield, how are they good screens for the back line? They have to protect Wallace and Bovo in this particular case. If I have a slow defender, it's even more important that this guy Obi doesn't go wandering too far, and he's actually a good screen. He can tackle and win balls. We know Falk can't defend. So what does this mean? This means that Obi has to have very good anticipation, concentration. This means that Molinaro is going to step up earlier if the ball comes here. That means Wallace has to be a very good defender. He has to have anticipation too. He has to have pace and acceleration to help Molinaro out. And you know that this side of your flank could be weak. So what do you do to compensate? You make sure you have the right players acting as a screen. Alternatively, maybe put somebody else to play. But if you want to take that, then you remove some of the risk element from your game, but you also take away some of the reward, right? So this is where you start balancing things out. What else can you do? Now that I know that this portion of my flank is exposed, I take that and put it one side and remember that, okay, my left flank is a bit more exposed than my right flank. Okay, so we've got the tactics set up. Now we look at team instructions. What do I do in the game itself? Basically, when it comes to team instructions are just my match strategies. All right, I can start a game knowing that the shape affects my transition. So we have our support players. Now, our support players are going to be involved in transitions in different ways. If I were to use highly structured, then the defenders are responsible for the defensive phase, midfielders are responsible only for the transitions, and forwards are responsible only for the attacking phase. The team is going to keep shape at all times. So your support players are the ones that are going to be, only your midfield support players are going to be involved in transitions. So you know that that's going to be the case. So you just chill back, relax, and this is where you depend on your players moving the ball up the pitch quickly. If I were to do that, then I'll make sure this position is a DLP. At least I have a playmaker on support. Structure will just increase the gaps, vertical gaps between players. So there's going to be a lot of space for people to explore. So this DLP will be able to exploit that space. And why would I start defensive why would I start defensive in a game? I will start defensive, structured, simply because I want to see how the other team is playing. If I find that I'm under too much pressure and we are under the cosh too much, I will go to standard and still stay unstructured, because I'm not going to overcommit my support duties. However, if I find that we are comfortably handling the attacks, then I might push up my defensive line. When you push up your defensive line, okay, what happens is these guys are going to come slightly high up the pitch. And when the opposition is trying to clear the box from their own half, if my players are intercepting it comfortably, I'll stay on structured. Okay, if I wanted to make my team more compact, this is where things get a bit more tricky. If you go to fluid and start playing a bit more compact, what happens is that you're going to turn this whole group into a much more compact group. And when that is done, your flanks become exposed. When your flanks become exposed, Molinaro becomes very exposed. So these are the things that you have to expect. Fluidity does make your team more compact and harder to beat, but you can move the ball around much more effectively. But your players need to have the creative freedom and the skills to pull that off. If they don't have the skills to pull that off, you need to know that fluidity, while it does give you more chances of maybe scoring a goal, okay, it also increases the risk that you might find yourself overexposed. So when you're doing something like that, you have to make sure that your backline you are observing your defensive line. So if you want to go and play on higher fluid settings, I've gone as much as super high, and then I play the offside trap. Why? Because I know that my team might get too exposed. So sometimes I push my defensive line all the way to the top, and sometimes I just go very fluid. This is very compact, but it also means that I will lose the ball. If I were to lose the ball, it's dangerous. So you need to be very aware of how you're playing. I am a big fan of playing structured or flexible, and sometimes I'm a very big fan of changing my shape to suit the occasion. So if I'm playing against a side that is attacking me and I'm having to defend, chances are I'll stay on structured because there's more spaces for me, and I'm probably gonna get between the line. If I'm playing against a side that I want to break down and I'm having a really hard time with playing them, then I might go to control. And if I find that with structured we still can't break down, then I want to get more players involved, I go to fluid, I push more players involved. Then I might push up the defensive line further up. If I find that, hey shit, we're still not breaking them down, I really have to camp in their half, then I push the defensive line up. If I still can't get in on them, I'll go use outside trap. If I still can't break them down, play our defense or ball into box. That's it. This is my I'm camping in your goal. That's what I'm doing now. Everything is set up to camp. So this will be camping. So this is how I play away, home and away. Home, if it's a really good team, I might start defensive and structured. And then I'll look at, will I play out of defense? Maybe not. Will I work ball into box? Maybe not. Why? Because I want the balls to be zipped across, from here the ball goes pung here, the ball goes pung here, the goal goes tung here. So sorry for the sound effects, but yeah, basically that's it. And then if I wanted to, as I go up, maybe if I want to get more and more players involved in the transition, I just change shape. That's so easy. This game is really, really easy right now. That's all. It's like playing an arcade game. Trust me, that's how easy this game is. It all depends on your roles and duties. That's all. Can you use the same tactic home and away? Yes. What do? Make sure your roles and duties are set up right. Make sure that you have the right players holding up the ball. Make sure that you have the right players who can pass the ball. Support duty players need to be able to tackle. Support duty players need to be able to pass the ball. Support duty players need to be able to hold the ball. Support duty players need to have good first touch. Can I change my style of play? Yes, you can. With roles and duties, maybe you can even get players like Joe Hart here at the back to pump the ball over the opposition defense. So these are all the various ways in which you can set up your tactic to win the day. So now I'm going to head off into the game that we're going to be playing next. This actually has been recorded after my match I was supposed to play. I came based on the question that was asked by 2 Kevin. I hope I answered it. But now the following game that I'm going to play actually illustrates what I'm trying to do here, which is how do I play home and away. And it's a match against AC Milan, and AC Milan are actually better than me. So how do I turn things around in that match? It's pretty cool. So in terms of the tactics, we might have an issue because I don't really have very solid tacklers in the center of the park. I have only Betasi. So this is going to be risky playing this 4-3-3, but I just want to try something different now. So I get bored quite a lot with tactics after a while. So sometimes to spice things up, I will make a different tactic, and this is the story with the 4-3-3. which is essentially I want to see balls hoofed over the top to the strikers, but I'm also concerned about these two guys, Louis Adriano and Niang. So what I'm going to do is I know that these guys are reasonably good, so we're going to do this to them. All of them will be shown onto wrong foot. It should be enough, and then the goalkeeper, I will try and put him under pressure. We're playing away from home, so I'll start out standard, highly structured. These are my shouts, which are pretty basic. And there we go. Game's off. Pucciarelli to Benazzi. Benazzi back to Wallace. Out wide to Danilo Avila. Milan 4-4-2, standard or control. One of those two. They work the ball really nicely to their strikers, and Niang has scored early. No, he has not. It's an offside, but this is a warning for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my mentality up and reduce some of the gaps and go flexible. Well, you'll have to carry on playing. Montolivo. I think scored off a corner. Another corner for AC Milan. There it goes. Wow. We are definitely finding it a bit hard. Come on. I got one more change to make. Yes, we're going to go attacking. Abate with the ball. Plays it to Montolivo. Baselli reads that pass really well. Dionisi has a chance to release Pucciarelli. Pucciarelli finds Belotti in the box. Belotti gets past one, gets past two. He couldn't score. It's a really good transition from defense to attack. Corner for Benazzi. In the air it goes, but Donnarumma has got the ball. Okay. Kick for Torino. Blanco to Baselli. Baselli back to Martinez. Gets inside the box. But we couldn't do anything with the chance. Capuano back in defense. Rossettini plays the ball to Benazzi, finds Baselli to Bianco. Bianco plays to Martinez. Martinez out wide to Rossettini, to Baselli, to Pucciarelli, out wide to Rossettini. Crosses the ball. Romagnoli does well, passing it back to Baselli. Baselli to Belotti. Bianco shoots and scores. What an equalizer! Oh my goodness. That was a lot of work for one goal. I was just sheer passing madness here going on. Baselli, Belotti, then to Bianco, unmarked. But then again, I never expected Bianco to shoot from there. Okay, we'll have to change the role slightly. I think I want to encourage make him go slightly higher. Martinez. Well, we're into stoppage time. Suso with the corner for AC Milan. The danger is cleared only as far as Gomez. He's going to have some pressure on him pretty soon, but manages to get the ball to Bertolacci. They try to release Bonaventura. Back to Bertolacci. There's enough time on the clock for AC Milan to do something, but I'm just looking at how my team is lining up at the moment. And no! It's offside. Thank you very much. This kind of screw us to the back. It's just too difficult to handle. Goalkeeper errors everywhere. Danilo Avila with the free kick. Pucci will have to get a chance to pick the ball up, do something with it. He drills a beautiful cross to Wallace, and Wallace scores in injury time. Wow. Unbelievable. Wow, this is sweet. Pucciarelli with a drill ball straight to Wallace, the central defender inside the box, scores. What a comeback from Torino. A goal down, pushing the defensive. We played with a deep D line, but our mentality was high, and we encouraged we chased one or two of the duties as well. Only one duty actually. It was very nice. Pucciarelli in the box. He's brought down. No, it's the final whistle. Torino have beaten AC Milan 2-1 away from home. Oh, that's brilliant. Well, definitely we turned things around inside, I would say, the last few minutes of the game. Well, that brings us to the end of another show. I've tried to do as much as I can. I hope I answered your questions too, Calvin. And if you guys have any more questions, you know where to find me. You can find me on Twitter at Busternet. Drop me a note on this YouTube channel, as well as drop me a like if you did like this video. And ask me anything you want. And if I have the time and I can do a video, I'll do one and I'll try and put it on the show. So let me know how this goes. You take care. And I'll catch up again with you guys soon. Bye-bye.